You rank higher on Etsy if your listing has a quantity of more than one. We all want to know how to make our listings rank higher in search because if they rank higher, there's a greater chance of a buyer seeing them and hopefully buying our listings. So, any little edge that we can tweak to our listings slightly may help our chances of making more sales on Etsy. And the one thing that it's asked often is if you have a quantity of more than one on a listing, does that help you rank higher? I think this theory came about because many years ago it was believed by sellers that Etsy were more likely to feature you on the front page when that was a thing. And in their mailouts, if you had a quantity of more than one, although I never saw Etsy say that this was a thing, but it made sense. If they're promoting an item, they wanted it to be an item that could make multiple sales, not just be a sold out listing moments after this promotion went live. But as I cannot manipulate what Etsy promotes, that's just not something I can test. I did, however, realize that Etsy had given me 100 free listings. So you know what that means? Another Pam testing listings. If this is the first Etsy experiment you've seen, let me explain the rules. Method. I have a keyword that I know I can create a new listing in my shop and build a rank for. It's competitive enough that I'm not guaranteed a first place slot, but at the same time, it's not searched for enough that the time of my testing buyers will be clicking and spoiling my science. That keyword is dog ring bearer. So for today's science, my hypothesis I'm testing is, does a listing rank higher if it has a quantity of more than one? Firstly, I use eRank's rank checker to check where my current listings are ranking. I use the rank checker because this looks at where listings are ranking directly from the Etsy API before any personalizations are added. If I search directly on Etsy, then the act of me searching may have changed the results. My listing I'm going to look at is currently ranking on page 1 at position 30. Then I copy this listing. It has a quantity of one, and the only other variable I change is the title to test one, so I don't lose track of this listing and then as I publish this new listing. When posting a new listing on Etsy, I've found it can take Etsy about 15 minutes to update so my listing is showing in the API. So after that time has passed, my brand new listing is showing up page 1, position 14. This is higher potentially for a couple of reasons. Firstly, Etsy does tell us that new listings can get a boost in search, and this can clearly be seen. Also, Etsy does tell us they look at past history of how your shop has done for keywords, so it's possible that having more listings for a keyword makes your shop just a little more relevant for that keyword. That's mainly speculation, perhaps a plan for a later test. Now I have all these free listings. Anyway, a new listing of mine for that keyword with a quantity of 1 ranks in position 14. Then I delete the listing and wait for the API to notice it's gone, then copy the initial listing again. This time, the title I add test 2 to it and a quantity of 5. After waiting, my listing shows up at position 13. Delete, wait, copy, test, and quantity of 500. This one pops up at a position 12. So they're slightly increasing in the ranking. Is this due to the quantity? I try a final test. This time it's back to a quantity of 1. This time it shows up at position 11. So it seems at the moment either the position can naturally vary by this amount or the authority theory may be correct. But from this limited test, it doesn't look like having a quantity of more than 1 helps your shop rank higher in search. That being said, there may still be some benefits to having a slightly larger quantity if you're able to. It is possible you get featured somewhere. This happened to me when I was sleeping. A large Instagrammer posted about me and people were buying lots. Thankfully, I had enough stock at Etsy. I didn't run out while I was sleeping. And it means people can purchase more than one item at a time. I was actually just talking to someone on Facebook and they were talking about how they sell listings that are designed to be bridesmaid gifts or something, but they only have a quantity of 1. Most people have more than one bridesmaid, so they would maybe like to purchase more than one. Also, there's no delay in selling an item and then relisting it, so you're still showing in search and likely getting a boost for the renewal and the sale. But sometimes people do find having a limited amount can trigger a fear of scarcity in the buyer when they see only one available. It's up to you if you think that would work for your item, your brand, and your customer.